Hey, it's Dark Matter. Today we've got Watto's Junkyard Tusken Slayer for DarthBrooks. The problem with chrome sabers is as soon as I touch this thing, the fingerprints are gonna be real, and I don't have any gloves. So there you go. But it looks nice and shiny for now. So this is installed with a Proffie board. 24mm speaker, usual stuff, like a Shtok Eco connector on a Goth Eco chassis. It does come with its own blade plug there. This brass screw right there is your blade retention. Just pop right out. Leave that out for now. Per DarthBrooks' request, the side LEDs are not, they're just dummy. They're not wired in. Vented pommel. It's pretty, it's pretty small. It's pretty like low profile, except for the giant box there. These LEDs are all dummy, and the first and last two are glued in. And the middle two are your buttons. I'll show you how. Excuse me. I'll show you how that whole thing works here in a sec. Wow, the fingerprints already. This thing is just crazy for that. This thumb screw right here is chassis retention, and also there's screws in here that also need to be loosened a spec to slide the chassis out. It's your Goth Eco connector. In order to access everything, first we'll take off the pommel. It's a small ID saber. Nice, just vented pommel. Nothing too crazy. What you're going to want to do, this top black section is magneted on, so it's okay if those come out. They're supposed to. This whole top section right here rides on these 4 magnets, and when the time comes, we'll put the dummy LEDs back on there, and it just snaps right back on there. And it's actually kind of hard to get off. You need to get your fingernail in there and break that magnetic seal. Also, it'll only go in the one way. So this way the magnets are repelling, so just make sure you get it the right way. You will need, let me loosen this just a speck. You'll need just a small Phillips. It's quite okay if these plungers come out. These little 3D printed plungers from right here, they're supposed to come out as well. I'm just showing you this because you're going to have to do some of this when it comes out of the shipping box. You don't have to take this all the way off though. I'm just showing you how the switch mechanism works. That whole thing lifts off, and this lifts off. See how those work? When these come in contact with the switches right there, they just poke out just a little bit, and there's the switches inside. And now you can just gently push the chassis out the back. It's not the easiest saber to get into, but I did not design it, so there you go. So there's your Proffie board. The battery is removable and rechargeable. The chassis is not the best one the Goth ever designed, if I'm honest. Especially the wire channels through between this back section up into the board section. I just straight drill the hole for the speaker wires, because I got everything else through the power and everything. Excuse me. And then the switches have the smallest passages ever along the sides to get back to the board, and there just wasn't much room for the speaker wires to go, so I just put a hole in it right there, nice and easy. You know, that could have been a little better thought out, but that's just my opinion. You'll notice that this channel here, when we'll turn this on. You line this up, and then when you put the chassis back in, you just want to make sure that you're looking at that channel right in the middle there, and gently push. Obviously, you don't want to push right on the speaker, you want to push on the outside until your switches pop into view right there. And then this printed piece here just drops right in the hole right there. I can't see her on the camera. There we go. These plungers, this is such a fiddly switch system, I swear. It's a vibe. Those just drop in there, just like that, sits there. These two pieces just sit right over the top. You want to screw those down with your Phillips. At this point you could tighten this. There goes the little plunger. If this ever gets a redesign, the whole switch mechanism area needs a redesign. And then so, as I said, those four are static, they're dummy, but these two need to drop in the back there, and then figure out which side is your magnet side, which is not that side. There, it pops back on there. So it's, oh, and the pommel back on. So it's a bit of an ordeal to get in there, as you can see. Some things could be planned out better, but as I said, I didn't plan them. I'm just working with what I got. So that said, DarthBrooks, as we had discussed, there's a ton of presets on this saber, and I'm not going to go through all of them. Mainly, I wanted to go over the first three, as we determined that Anakin uses this saber 3 times in Attack of the Clones. Once during the chase at the beginning, and it was Zam Wessel, and I believe the second one was, what was the second one? Second one was killing the Tuskens, yeah, Tusken Slayer, yeah. And the third one was at the Dread Factory, which this saber gets destroyed. So the first 3 banks are the same sound font, but slightly changed, different boot sounds, different blasters. So this first one is the Bounty Hunter Chase. Second bank is, you know, Anakin's rage, killing all the Tuskens.
I killed them all. I killed them all.
Of course, we keep getting the same ones. You know?
I hate them. just the men. With the women. And the children, too.
Each bank has several quotes, but since they play randomly, it's hard to get them to play exactly when you want them to. That's the best boot sound ever. So, Droid Factory. So this one just is basically the font unedited, but I did take away all the blasters except for the Geonosian green bubble blasters. The rest of the banks, and there's probably 8 or 10 more, are identical to your Mundi Saber, your Kiadi Mundi Saber that we did earlier this year, as you requested. And then close to the very end is the Rogue One Vader.
Anakin, do copy. This is Obi-Wan.
You want to buy some death sticks?
Don't want to.
It's Dooku. Shoot him down.
We're out of rocket stuff.
Obviously, this is a very Attack of the Clones centric, setup.
I retransmitted it just.
And the further you get, obviously, we get into some other characters and some not even Star Wars.
General Crow. Yep. And what you gonna do when Hawkeye Turtle Saber? Kenobi. I claim this sword. This party's over. Lord Vader.
It has the hallway scene on there, the track.
I sense it too.
Back to the beginning. Each of the 3 banks I forgot to mention. The first 3 also has a track. So the first one is the Bounty Hunter Chase, and the second one's Tusken Camp, I think, track. So it's all set up for the scenes that we'd discussed. I do have the Proffie set to as deep sleep as it can get after, I believe, 10 minutes. So you probably don't need to open this up every single time unless you just want to. It's a good saber, it really is, but this whole button thing is just fiddly, and I've only handled this for a few minutes, and the fingerprints are just that's bad. Chrome things are just so hard to keep clean. It's ridiculous. I guess this is a pretty clever way to do the buttons. You can't see them. There's no visible anything, but I don't know. It just seems like a lot of work to get in there. It's a little bit easier because these aren't functioning, but there is space in the chassis way up front to put in some LEDs. We'll put in a tester blade real quick. The blade socket is on the shallow side, so when you get a full-length blade in there, it's not as deep as it could be. But not sure why I stopped recording right there, but anyway, here we go. So that's it. if you have any last minute changes for me to make, DarthBrooks, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll have this off to you by the end of the week. Thank you everyone for watching.